Okay, alright, hello everyone, welcome to another video. So a little bit of an insider secret here. The end of the last episode was all smoke and mirrors. Oh yeah, I didn't even fight the boss. I wanted to keep recording and I realized I had other stuff to do, so as soon as I got in this room I was like, oh god, I have to leave. And so yeah, what we're going to do today is we're going to start off with this save file I panic made, and we're going to fight this boss, who I totally hyped the hell up out of. And I had a comment. This person was right. He's actually not too difficult of a boss. But here we go. It tends to be either that when I'm recording, things go incredibly smoothly, or they go incredibly terribly. And in the case of earlier in the catacombs, I guess it went incredibly terribly with those fire elemental dudes. Which apparently, yeah, they're fire elementals. Apparently we can one-shot them if we're quick enough, even with a de-spell spell. But I don't know how many opportunities we'll really get for that. We'll have to see. Oh my god, Grimrock, come on, load. Please, I want to fight Zarant Wormbound. So yeah, a recap from the last episode. We got into this boss fight, pretty much. So he's going to fire some ice at us pretty much straight away after summoning a bunch of ghouls. So there you go, you can see those guys are appearing. The Master of Ice Magic, you'll actually see, of course, we do a lot of damage. And because we have, for example, Bane, and because you can devastate with Bane twice and miss, apparently, brilliant, thank you very much. This guy actually does attack very quickly, so we want to be cautious of that. We'll attack this way. Come on. Oh my god, your cooldown. Jonker, the cooldown. What is this? Oh my god, was he just bugged or something? That cooldown was mental. There you go. We get a critical. Oh, that felt so good. Down he goes. Wow. Okay, yeah, see, that went really smoothly. These guys are still here and do still pose a serious threat. I'm going to move Loto Patho back. Of course, we did have a level up earlier. In the previous episode, which I ignored, which I think was tick crit. Loto has now leveled as well, so that's going to be pretty cool. Oh god, there's another one over there on the right for us. Even though he's out of energy, Jonker can keep using Bane. Loto Patho is on such low health right now. Oh my god, and Sanon's on very low energy too. We can't really devastate. Oh dear, they can't like pierce, right? They can't hit the back line. Oh god, everyone's getting a bit low. If this last guy is the one that kills us, I will not be happy. Ah, nice. Brilliant. Was that a backstab? Did that count as a backstab? So, yeah, that's sort of how that went. We get a bunch of stuff on the floor there. We'll pick that up in a second. You notice that there is stuff underneath us here, interestingly enough. And you can even see what seems to be some sort of a chest down there. And this is the room that we were in before. This is one of those very odd situations where, I mean, we're used to the idea of having floors on Grimrock, right? So you go up one, you go down one. Well, we actually have a multi-leveled floor here, and this has happened before. If you think about back at the ruins of Desirune, we had like the weird thing when we moved into the sewers or the hamlet or whatever. You know, it seemed odd that we were going up and down stairs, but you got to remember there was lots of stairs and ladders we were going around anyway, and like it counts for 2 floors at once. It's very odd. Anyway, so yeah, we were there before, and if I had the 4th floor, I would have been like, oh, look above us. Looks like we can travel around up there, and we could have talked about it. Wow, Sanon really needs a lot of energy. We'll drink that. That was probably a bit silly. But we'll go to a save crystal in a second. So yeah, anyway, this chamber, this is just a huge boss room. He'll summon a couple of ads. He'll cast his ice spell. He attacks very quickly with like flanking strikes from the side. You will find here a gold key. This is the first one we've experienced here in the cemetery in general, I guess. I mean, outside in the cemetery on the top floor, we did have a gold key thing, but that was from ages ago. But yeah, so this is actually going to give us more of our meteor armor, which is going to be pretty fantastic. So here we go. I know everyone's kind of low, don't worry, we'll be cautious. For a second there, I was really tempted to pick up this guy's, like, skull, his face that was resting in there. That's kind of weird. So yeah, check it out. We got the Meteor Greaves. Apparently these give fire resist when we get the full set, like the full set bonus. These massive boots are clumsy, but the thick metal will protect its wearer from almost anything. We can equip these things just like so. We've got our plate greaves now, as you can see. And so it's just more and more heavy armor just constantly getting loaded on us. We're actually doing quite well with the meteor set already as it is. Here we get a couple more pellets. It's kind of like if you want to play a firearms guy, you best hope that you get all the secrets. And so speaking of firearms, what do we want to do with tick crit now? Because we are going to start slowing down with the points we get. And if we want to be firearms, maybe now is the time to do it. Is this really stupid of me? Is this crazy? Is this dumb? We're going to start speccing into stuff that literally gives us no benefit until way later, at which point we can just start being this gun-toting maniac. But it was the early vision of the series, and I do want to ultimately pay that off. I mean, we could keep going crit, which would help, but honestly, like, the bonus perks, like the backstab perks, I don't care about for tick crit. They don't help. The bow and the crossbow, as in other RPGs, they might be considered light weapons. They're not in this game, so, you know, they're ranged weapons. They're missile weapons. So I think we will go firearms. There we go. I did it. Wow. I didn't know I was going to do that, but now I guess we've settled. This is it. This is the direction we're going. And so Veloto Pafo as well. He can, of course, continue to go into accuracy, but I'm going to put him into dodge here, just because we know that he's struggling a little bit, and I do want the cooldown period of his stuff to go down. That's going to be useful for him, even if we do ultimately put him in heavy armor anyway. But then if he has heavy armor proficiency and all these things, okay. So yeah, dodge should be pretty cool. And so yeah, there you go. I guess we'll feed Sanon some bread, as all humans do enjoy some bread. And that's our little RPG set. No, not the pie, not the pie. That's Jonker's pie, and he gets to have that later. So I guess that's like the little RPG bit done, which of course you always look forward to after killing a big bad boss. We get a skull key. Remember last episode we found a door pretty recently actually that that had a skull key hole near it. Well, there you go. We'll sort that around like that. We will break the urns. It seems like no matter how much damage you do, you always have to hit these things twice. Is that true? Is that just that I've been unlucky? Have I ever managed to one-shot those? I don't know whether I really have. Got some mud welt on the floor here. I'm scouring for secret buttons. I'm pretty sure I found all of the secrets. The sort of layout of this floor from here on is going to be there's a very specific route, but then there's loads of long hallways with like secrets that you can optionally go for if you like, which I guess we'll be doing this episode. Here we also find the Amulet of Nurgle. So this thing's pretty cool. This gives us health plus 50 flat. This powerful amulet is imbued with dark forces. The spirits within grant the wearer uncanny powers over death itself. Are there some maybe hidden extra effects to this that I am unaware of? I am unsure, but we'll put this on Loto Pafo, which actually makes him very, gives him a lot of vitality, basically. He's at 240 health, that's more than Jonker by a long way now, which will help him because he's going to be getting hit with these bigger blows. Now, last episode as well, we saw that message that said Loto Pafo feels changed. Now, who can tell me what we were doing when that was going on? Well, if you remember carefully, we were resting a lot, right? And so I'll tell you guys what happened when we use that tome before it slips too far out of people's minds, out of my mind perhaps even to an extent. That tome means that during the day, he is weaker, he loses vitality, he loses some stats, but during the night, he feels stronger, and he gets more health. And so this means during the night, Loto Pafo is actually going to be doing really quite well. And I love the idea of that, you know, a rogue, a lizard man rogue at that, being all powerful at night and stuff. Oh, that's awesome. I knew the second I found that tome on my original file, I was like, this is definitely something for Loto Pafo. Alright, so we also had this other door here, remember, before we went into the boss chamber, so we'll check it out. And it's just got a couple of small things in here. Hope you guys are doing good today, by the way. My day's been really, really weird. I've had some like water damage in my room for ages. I've actually had a carrier bag sellotaped to the ceiling to stop water dripping on my head while it's been raining in winters. Yes, that has been my life. I live in a hovel. And today I've been desperate to try and record for hours and hours and hours, but we've been waiting for these guys to come to actually fix it and sort it out. And they just sort of came. Some people came once before from the council and said, oh yeah, we fixed it, and left. And then they totally hadn't, but it was summer, so it didn't rain a lot and we didn't know. And so now it's happened again, and they just sort of came and they went on the roof and they said, okay, it's fixed. So fingers crossed it's sorted out now. And a spoiler for anyone who watches Visualwood, I'm going all the way back to the save crystal here, for which I'm going to be recording very soon. I actually recorded my conversations with them as the audio adventure, which should be very fun. But I've just sort of been sat around stalling. I hate it. I don't know. I'd like to feel like I'm a more flexible worker that can just be like, oh yeah, you know, I'll do whatever. But I hate the idea of people coming to interfere me while I was in the middle of recording or something like that. I don't know. It's like what I was talking about on Final Fantasy, where the guy was like staring at me while I was recording. Oh my god, hello. Whoa, where did you come from? Did I miss you somewhere? Did you respawn? Did you come out of like an extra hole somewhere? Getting Loto Pafo paralyzed is honestly the worst thing in the world. Shouldn't you like evade that kind of thing? Oh my god, seriously, Jonker, these cooldowns are mental. I didn't realise that Devastate had such a huge cooldown, but there you go. I guess the more you know, slowly we're learning. There you go, he's dead as well now. Did you just come out of somewhere extra? The map's already looking a lot more complicated than it actually is. I think we're okay though. So, we just want to cross the bridge again and see what we've got. So, oh, we really shouldn't have come all this way. I might even end up cutting. No, there's no need to cut. So here's the skull key. And just as a recap as well, last episode we saw this area over here with like the alcove up there and that stuff over there. Well, now is how we're eventually going to be able to get to that stuff. And there's also the thing underneath on the ground down there. which we still can't deal with. So now that we've explored everywhere off down there, we can put the skull key into the lock. The skull key is the kind of thing I wish you could... It's a weird thing in RPGs. You always consume the key, putting it in there, right? Like, you're these really careless adventurers that just always leave keys in the locks. I like the idea that you should be able to reclaim them somehow and put them in trophy rooms. So here we get another area. This is called the Silver Scepter of Isochronos. And what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to mark this on our map. Okay, and I already forgot what it said, so I just typed something Chronos. That's fine, though, okay? So the Silver Scepter of Isochronos. And by coming in here, we're going to find something kind of interesting. You'd expect it to be another big chamber, especially considering what we just saw with Zarant, Wormbound. You know, you'd think something significant was going to happen in here. Instead, all we get is a small energy potion, not even a big one, which we're sort of accustomed to now. And we get a shovel, which we don't need, but is a hint. And we get a note. And this note will help us for something later on. So, this says, where there is nowhere to hide from sunlight, the loneliest of all trees resides. The missing limb will point you to the right direction. Just walk as far as the eye can see. I don't know why I was reading that like it was a poem, and it's clearly not a poem. Just walk as far as the eye can see. So I'll let you guys think about what this could mean. I do know what this means. It's actually, I'll give you a big hint. It's something I spent a long time rambling about while we were there in the series. So, yeah, interesting. This will actually get us a secret, a pretty cool secret. One that a few people were trying to like goad me into getting when we were originally there, but I want to get it after, you know, we would logically figure it out. So here we go. This is one of a few very well hidden secrets in a certain area of the game, and the shovel is obviously a hint to us, hey, maybe you want to go dig with whatever this note is. So we'll keep this, and the name of the room we can remember obviously from this, and maybe that's a suggestion as to what we actually find as a prize. So with that done though, there's our only one choice is to continue along, and this is where I start getting really scared on my original file, because you're going to keep hearing fireballs hitting walls, and we just had an experience of fire elementals coming flying at us out of nowhere and doing tons and tons and tons of damage to us. At this point on my original file, I wasn't sure if it was Bane. I was like, wait, is Bane supposed to be this like amazing weapon, but by you swinging it, there's like a random chance for you to catch fire and, you know, spontaneously combust or something? Like, I really had no idea. Here you'll find some cheese, and you'll actually notice that we can reclaim some crossbow bolts. Did we already do that? Some corals? From here, because this is actually where we fired across from a while ago, see? So by putting the skull key into the lock there, we've now gained access here. We still don't know how to deal with that puzzle with the weird, like, icicle shard thing, and we can look directly down at that there. And so really, we just have one choice again, and that's to progress along here. We get a locked door, that's fine, and now we get to see the fireballs. Do I want to be stood here? Yeah, I think I'm okay. And this sort of dominates a big portion of this dungeon. Like in terms of space, but it doesn't necessarily take that long to deal with. So you'll notice there's some fireballs bouncing around the room. If we were to drop down there, we'd actually have a fair few fights to deal with. So first of all, I'm just gonna, we'll nip through there. I'm not gonna wait for it to go all the way. We're just gonna come along over here. You're gonna find a gate which we can open, which we probably should, so that's fine. We're gonna find a receptacle here, and you want to remember that, okay? Then we're gonna find, oh no, I guess this is the receptacle. We're gonna find something that fires a bolt there into this here, and then we're going to come out into this doorway here. What I'm currently showing you guys is how to progress through the dungeon rather than get a secret, like a lengthy secret in this sort of section of the dungeon here, but that's okay. And so we kind of have to wonder, what do we want to do? We want to get through this door, this significant looking door here. There's this gate here also, and a button. If we press the button, you'll notice it fires the bolt from over there, it comes here, and then it comes out towards us, where we obstruct it. And so you might be thinking straight away, well, what happens if we press this and as it's coming, instead drop down? Well, nothing really seems to be accomplished there. It just hits this gate. But there is the question, of course, of what is even down here? Are there any hidden buttons? No, there is just a simple lever. And by pulling this lever, you'll see suddenly how the puzzle works. This lever opens this door over here, which we can now go explore. But turns out to just be a dead end. Again, no secret buttons, no nothing, with just a teleporter in there. And it closes this gate here. And so you should see the solution straight away. So we're going to sort that out. One thing I do find kind of interesting is I feel like the developers have totally thrown like something to the wind here. The idea that this has to be a realistic dungeon complex, the idea that this has to make sense realistically somehow, that the configurations of the hallways were actually leading to real chambers and stuff, that this was actually being used for something. Like, this is just abstract weird tunnels with odd teleporter configurations at this point to get us through, and I feel like most games, they end up dropping the ball on that one anyway, right? Towards the end of the game, they sacrifice all that stuff just to make interesting puzzles, and this was the first moment where I really realized with Grimrock that I was like, oh yeah, we're fully into like weird dungeon mechanics here. So here we go. We're gonna press the button. We're gonna come along. We're gonna look for the white glow. Then we're gonna press this, and just in time, that gate's gonna open. Now that teleporter, that projectile teleporter, is gonna fire it back. Now we could have tested this by doing this, but there's the risk that you're going to hit yourself, so that's kind of scary. We'll grab that. But it's going to fire it back, so we now realize, oh, it was obstructed here. So we have to do the whole thing again, and you've got to be kind of dexterous with when you pull this lever at the bottom. So there we go. Hopefully I get this right. Don't crucify me if I don't. So we'll go down. That's 1. And that's 2. And there we go. But when it goes back through there, instead of going left or right as it did before, it will now go left. It will hit that, and it will open this door, which, what do you know, allows us to make some serious progress. I guess I'll end this video with a lovely little glimpse for you guys of the next room. Oh, yes. And a small host of friends who are waiting for us at the exit to this floor. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for the 2 secrets that we've missed, clearing of this awesome looking chamber, and what lies below. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.